Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today I thought we'd work on something using my little Halloween bag that we got from Bargain Bead Box. I've opened it, but I haven't done anything with it. So I thought we'd open it up again, look at what we've got, and see if we can come up with something to make from these beads. Now, one of the things that was in my kit were these. They're let's see if I can turn them so you can see them better. A large teardrop, and these could make a really pretty cone earring. I don't know if I have any cones close by me that we could use, but they could. Then there's some little hearts. These are a slightly orange heart, and my pendant was this pretty little guy with this carnelian in the middle. It has some extra glue around this side. I'm going to see if I can get that off. Oh yeah, there we go, all off. But yes, it's a pretty little guy, but he's more orange. And my other beads, I also have some pink and white pinch beads and some little, I think this is some kind of a quartz. But see if we can get it to focus so you can see it better. There we go. So these are all little beads. And I've got to see if I can figure out how to put these together into some kind of a little necklace. I was thinking maybe just a choker, choker length with this strand and just the pendant here. That might be pretty. How long is this strand? Well, it's longer than 12. It's probably about 15. Yeah, it's either 14 and a half or 15. So not quite long enough for a choker, because you want at least 16 for a choker. However, we could do it by just putting spacers in between, and that would add the extra length that we need for a simple choker. For the others, I think we might want to make some earrings or something. I had thought of putting some of these the hearts in amongst the or the teardrops, but I'm not sure that I want to do that, even though the hearts have a more orange color to them, and they would work better. I don't know if I want to put them in there. We'll have to decide. Let's turn down. So as you can see, I've joined a bell down here. I do think we want to just use these, but I need to find something else to go with it. I don't want to go straight little I want it a little bit longer than choker length, probably about 18 inches. And we'll put these aside. I was debating, since this is an orangey heart, putting the hearts in here too. But I don't know that I want to do that. I think we'll put these ones aside here. And I might see if I can find some cones. These would be really pretty as a cone style earring, maybe with a pinch bead above it, above the cone, and then something else below, but we'll see. Anyway, I need to find some carnelian, I think. I think I have some small carnelian around here somewhere, which would go good with this this is sunstone. So we could add the sunstone because it is an orange, so it would match the carnelian. But it's also a small bead. I would like something just a little bit bigger to add into here, but we'll put the sunstone here, see if I decide that would be all right. I knew I had some. This is slightly larger. It's than these little guys. I also have some red jasper and some big carnelian in here, but I don't want the big carnelian. I think it's too big. That is carnelian. So what I think we'll do is since we have the carnelian, I don't think we need the sunstone, so we'll put that away. And then we need to decide on some spacers for the beads. So I'm thinking we will take our carnelian strand. Uh-oh, there were my pinch beads on the floor. No, there we go. You guys go over there. And we'll have our carnelian. Oops, this one is obviously open. I've got loose beads going everywhere. That's all right. Let's just let the loose beads be down here. Maybe that'll be enough. If not, we'll put these aside so that we have them. Actually, I think I'll just add some more to that pile. Six millimeter carnelian, which means the little tiny guys are probably 4s. Now this will match our little sunburst really nicely, or our little, well, it is a sunburst. And then we need, like I said, to decide on some spacers. So I have put a pile of little daisy spacers here. So now we just have to figure out what we want to do. So let's cut this strand loose. I think these are pretty. I think these are probably rutilated quartz. There is some little speckles inside them. Not a lot, but some. Now, if I didn't want to just use all these beads, I could switch this up to chain to end it up if I wanted to. I don't know that I want to, so we don't have to worry about it too much. I'm going to pull all these beads off of here. I'm going to probably use them all. If not all of them, then close to all of them. So there we go. We're going to push these guys to the side here. We might make something with them later, but right now we're going to concentrate on this little necklace. It's going to be a very delicate little necklace. So next thing we need to do is get some beading wire out and then decide on start working on our pattern. Could use this butterscotch color for if I wanted to, or I'm thinking maybe some bone, because we are going to wonder if this would be better. Come here, you. This is an off color, but it's so which do I want to use? Bone, this off color, or the butterscotch? That is the question. Now, I've got to remember that these beads are clear enough that any color I put into them is going to show through to a degree. So, I'm going to go with the bone. It's the more well, how do I want to put it? It's the least color with the, I could go white, but I don't want to do white. I think I want this, I think I want the bone. So we'll put the other colors away here, which I just did, into my drawer. And then we're going to just pull some bone out of its, this is a SoftFlex medium 019 wire. And as I said, in the bone color, even though it doesn't say bone on here. Obviously, this is one of the generic labels, but that's all right. We don't really matter to us. So I'm going to start by putting a couple of the little daisy spacers on, because by the time we get to the other end over here, I can already tell you, unless it's the carnelian one that we end with, we're going to have, these are not going to double up. They're so tiny. And I'm thinking we'll do, like, probably should have put 3 daisy spacers over there. 3 of these guys. Put that one aside. Then we're going to do, I put 2 here, but I think we're going to switch it up to 3 daisy spacers right here. Come on, baby, go down. Then a carnelian. I think 2. And 1 of these guys. Two more of these little daisy spacers. And another carnelian. Now I do have some more carnelian if I need to get some more out. Now we'll go back to the 3 and 3, the 3 daisies, and then the 3 of these little guys. Our bell is sitting in here because we want it at about 9-inch, the 9-inch mark, so. Oops. Forgot I'm putting a daisy spacer between each one there. How many people have got their Christmas tree up? I put mine up last night. So we had to move the cat tree because the cat tree was normally where the Christmas tree goes, and so we moved it, and it became rather concerning for the cats. They didn't understand where was their cat tree going, but then they were all in it later. Had to check to make sure I didn't change it or something, you know. So So we're just going to keep this same pattern going till we get 9 inches on here. Maybe a little less than 9 inches because when we put the clasps on the back, it's going to take some space. And I might put an extender chain on too. That way, if somebody wants it a little longer, then whoever purchases this wants it a little longer, then I can have it, then they can have it a little longer with an extender chain on it. Just dropped something. Not sure what it was. Maybe just a spacer. If it was, that's fine. Oops, this spacer has a problem. See how it's looks like it didn't come out of its mold all the way here. So we'll stick that one aside. Little bugger. So what I want to do is see how long this is so far. We probably want it doubled. Not quite doubled because it's almost 5 inches. And since we only want, well, 5 and 5 is 10. We don't want 10 because we don't want 20 inches. So we probably want another 3 inches though, so that would be about to right from here over down. So let's see what let's keep going. And we're at the 3 little guys now. Now, on my Christmas tree, I have some really fun different glass ball style ones that I get when I go on vacation. For instance, I have a beautiful blown glass ball that was one of my new ones for this year that I got from Lincoln City when we went to Lincoln City this last year. And then I have also got a little crab looking one from Lincoln City that I got a couple of years ago. But I also got a little glass bat that I got when we went through Craters of the Moon. And I also have some really fun other ones from other places I've been. Like I have a pineapple from when I went to Oahu, and we went to the Dole factory. Got glass pineapple from there. I have a couple of hot air balloons that I got down in New Mexico when I've been to New Mexico. Come on, where's your hole? There we go. And see what else. I have a really fun little jellyfish one that I got on Maui. So some really fun little glass ones. I also have a jalapeno. Did I get the jalapeno in Arizona or in New Mexico? I can't remember. But it's a little jalapeno he's a little guy. He's got a sombrero on and he's cute. Then I have a moose one that I got at Yellowstone and a bison one. And I have a loon one that I got here, and a red bus that I got here at Glacier. So those are all fun. So let's see where we're at now. I'm not going to put the spacers on right now because we might be going straight to our bail, or we may be putting something else on. But let's see how long we are. Okay, that's 8, so that would make it 16. I want it a little bit longer than that. We could put if we put the next set of pattern on, we're going to go, because this is about an inch and a half, we're going to end up being at 9.5 instead of, so it's going to make it a little longer than I really wanted to make it, but we may do that anyway because the other way is too short and I want a little more here. I want it to be a little longer than this. Though wait a second, how long is it? 8? Yeah, it's 8, which when doubled would be 16, which is choker length. And then with the hardware on, it's going to be about 17. Put the hardware on, it's going to make it about 17, but then with the if I put an extender chain in, we may quit right here and just put the bail in. And I'm going to take 2 of these spacers off. Put the bail on here. Now, since this bail has a big enough hole but not a huge hole, I'm going to just leave it without putting anything inside it. And then we're going to go back up the pattern the other side, starting with the carnelian. And then, of course, the carnelian will be down here. This will be down here. Though I could put the little quartz here, the next pattern of little quartz here, and then it would spread this off a little bit. Maybe we'll do that. Let's see. That would put that we'd need the 3 daisy spacers back on. Now, if this was a pattern of 4, I might consider just putting 2 on either side here. But it's not a pattern of 4, so that would mess it up if I just put 2. It wouldn't really hurt it any. Come on, where's your hole? But see, if I put this on now instead of putting on the 3rd, and it went to the other side. Now we're going to just put the 3rd on. Then 1 spacer, and then the bail. And another spacer for the other side. And back into our little rutilated quartz. Yeah, I think that's going to be better because this nice big carnelian here, it puts the carnelian back into the pattern, as you can see. So we'll put you aside, and now we're just going to go back up the other side just as we went here with oops, two daisies, no quartz. Okay, here we are at what should be the end. Now these these are a little too tight because the spacers are going inside the bail here. So I'm going to loosen this up a little bit so that this can move up and give the bail a little bit of space. See, now it drops down in. But let's compare, make sure everything looks good from side to side. Yep. Now let's measure. Now, because we ended on 2, I put 2 on this side, but I'm thinking I'll probably add the 3rd because this is a spacer, because that's where the spacer would be. So that is 8.5, not quite 9. So that would make it be 17 inches, and that is a nice little length. If I wanted, I could put another carnelian up at the top because I think their hole is big enough to have 2 wires go through it, which would make it just a tad longer. If I do that, I'm going to put in 1 more spacer here, then the carnelian, and 2 more spacers, which means I need to get 2 more out for the other side. So let's see, when I measure it from there to there, how long we end up being. Now we're 9, so we're 18 inches now. So I think I'm going to leave it there at that, and we'll put this other, I need 1 more spacer, and then that's all the spacers we need. And we'll put one of these carnelians up at the top. And I put this one aside because, see, it's weirded out. Maybe we'll just put that one in because it's a weird one. The matrix, where the matrix is at, it shrunk down, so I removed it from the body of the piece, but we could put it up at the very top because it is it isn't going to show up there. It's going to be behind your hair. You can't hardly see it there anyway, but now I'm going to take out just a bit more of the bone so I can cut this baby, and I'm going to give it a little extra length here because we're pretty short on this side. So we'll cut this off right here, and we'll fix this right here. So now, since we did this on this side, I'm going to add another spacer here, and the carnelian, and the 2 spacers that we ended with on this side. So here is our ending. And I don't want to make this too horribly tight, like I said, because we want the bail to be able to be down there at the bottom. So that's about the tightness I want. I've put out a couple of crimp tubes and a lobster claw and a couple of jump rings, 1 medium, 1 larger. These are all extras. Isn't that lovely? We still have extra beads from this. And then I've put these over here. This is the little wonky weird one, because I'm going to put these, I'm going to make a little, we're going to make a little, I think this one's gold. It is. We need to get a silver one. But I can show you what I'm going to do with this gold one. We're going to put this, and we're going to do the double like we do right here. And then this little guy. Come here, you. So it'll look like so. And we're going to put it at the bottom of our extender chain, so that we have that that little decoration at the back of our extender chain. And then we also have to put our sun down here on here. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting these finished off. So we'll just open up one of these, get our crimp tube. Now at this point you can put your jump ring on, and sometimes it's helpful to have it on because it will, you can use it as a fulcrum to hold on to when you pull your wire through. So let's get our wire through our beads if we can here. I'm not sure they'll go through the carnelian. I put the carnelian on just in case they would go through it. Oh, they go through it fine. No problem whatsoever. So we're going to push this up here to where we want to crimp it at. And then we'll get our crimping pliers out. I use the magical crimpers. There's a divot right there. You put your 2x2 crimp tube right in the middle of that divot and squish. And then you turn and squish and turn and squish. And there we go. Now if you want, you can put these spacers onto your wire as well, or you can just cut it right here. And I'm going to cut it right there, and if the space, if the whatever's left here, just slide your flush cutters right up to the bead and snap it off. So then these can go Did you go in there with the wire? Yes, it did. Good. Now we're going to roll these around. Now when we do this side, we got to be a little more careful because we don't want to leave a big, huge gap. But now we have more room to work with because we did slide our beads around. Now we're going to make sure that this has got enough room down in here. Give it a little bit of a push. There we go. And now we'll put our, go through these. Now this is going through the other spacers, and that's fine. I know it's not like, oh, it did go through the little bead. I am thoroughly shocked. That little tiny guy has a bigger hole than I thought he would. You see, I'm holding on to my jump ring, and you can hold it on with onto it with your pliers if you need to, and just pulling with this, and then we'll push down some more. See, it just left quite a bit of space, so we want to pull down some more. And we're probably good here because we do need to give it a little room for our crimp, and we don't want it super tight like we were discussing because we want to have room for our bell to drop down in here, and it's not doing so. See how I've got to loosen it just a hair's breadth, and it will loosen because see there's a gap right here. So as soon as I cut, we'll have enough room. So we're gonna take our crimp bead pliers, and we're going to get right on that crimp, and then we're going to squish and turn and squish and turn and squish. Now I tend to squish until it won't squish down anymore. See how it just had a little bit of squish left there? No more squish. So now we'll cut this off. Come on, you. Go down to the bead. No, not the spacer. Cut that little bit off. And there we go. Now we can open this up and put our lobster claw on. But as you can see, we did have some extra space here, which is good. We push these up, and then we have enough space for our bail to sit down there. So now we just need to open up this jump ring on this side, and then we will put our lobster claw in. Dropped my pliers. I had to get them back. So we'll open this baby up right here. Put our lobster claw in and close it back up. So that's on. Open this and put it on here. Pull this baby down so that we can get hold of our bail and pull it down better. And it is a little tighter than I thought it was when we pushed these all up here. There, one of the spacers is inside the bail. Darn it. Come on out of there. See it right there? Went inside the bail. Come here, you. I want you out of there. There we go. So there is enough room for it. It's just insistent that they go in there, and if they do, that's fine. It doesn't really hurt anything because we do have the silver between the spots. I'm going to get a little Tinky Tot out. That is the smallest of my jump rings. And we're going to put our sun on. Now I think that this is big enough, but it may not be. The bails, the two sides might be too big to have for both of these to go onto the Tinky Tot. We're going to find out here in just a second. If they are too big, we will have to switch it to a medium. Looks like we might be able to be fine. We'll find out here in a second when we try and close it. If it won't close, we'll know we'll need the bigger one. I think we're going to need the bigger one. Let's get this baby off of here, and we'll get a medium one. Which is a pity. I like to use the littlest ones that I can get away with using. That one isn't obviously the littlest one I can get away with. So we'll put a medium one on. And this one, of course, will fight us a lot less because it's quite a bit bigger. But see how it doesn't even it wanted to fight just a little bit. So we'll take it and turn, and there we go. See how much simpler that was with a slightly bigger one? So there's our necklace, all finished except for our extender chain, which we do want to do an extender chain. So I'll get a little chain out. We do need the chain to be big enough for our lobster claw to go through. So let's check this chain here. Usually it will, but it will not. So we will, and I know my smaller one is much too small. So I do need to find some little tiny chain to put in here, and I also need to find a little tiny bag to put these guys in, and a silver jumper, a ball head pin, so we can do this baby. Have some 5mm curb chain. Now this seems too big, but unless I can find a little bit more delicate silver chain which has big enough holes, which I haven't so far, we're going to use this. I thought I had some like this in silver, which would work, but this is copper, so it won't work. But see how much more delicate this is? But the holes are big enough, even though it's delicate, for our lobster claw to go in easily. But I don't think that I do have, I can't find any silver. I do have this curb chain, which is much thicker than I actually wanted to use. But it may be what we have to use because I can't find a more delicate chain that the lobster claw will go through. And we have to do what we have to do, right? So we'll cut a couple of inches of this off. I'm not going to cut a long one, just a relatively short one, because we don't really need it to be long. Now, if you wanted, you could just make a jump ring chain. And to do that, all you've got to do is just take your jump rings and just make a series of them. But we're just going to open this baby up and put this chain on the end, which seems so too much for too big for this tiny little necklace, but it is what it is. Tighten that up. Now we'll take this off of this gold pin, And we'll put it on the silver one I have here. Just the way I had it made, though. Silver one has a bend, but I don't think we're going to be big enough for it to be a problem. So then we'll bend this over like we would normally. Get our bell making plier out and go up and over and around. We're going to leave a gap when we do this because I'm going to attach this directly to our chain. So we'll slide this baby down here. Snap it on. Take hold of both sides with our pliers, and then we're just going to wrap this baby up. Cut the tail off. And tuck it in. There we go. So there's our tail. So that will extend our chain about, well, how much did we actually cut off? Oh, 3 inches. So that's good. So now we've got a much longer little necklace, but if it wants to be longer, but it's all finished. Isn't that cute? I think it turned out really sweet. We still have quite a few beads left. I wasn't expecting to have that many beads left since it was only a 15-inch strand, but we'll have to put those in a little baggie so they don't get lost. But there's our little necklace. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, we still have all the other beads from our kit that we didn't end up using. But there we go. There we go, all finished with our little necklace. Isn't it special? So now the pendant and the little rutile quartz were from my little Halloween baggie from Bead Box Bargains, and I also got these carnelian that we added to this to match our sun from Bead Box Bargains. Now I think the daisy spacers, they could have come from Amazon, but there we go, all finished with our little necklace. And we still have part of the rutile quartz and the little pinch beads and the 2 styles of the hearts and the little cone beads from the kit, so we can make something with that later. So isn't that pretty? I think it turned out really special. Da-da-da. And it ended up being finished length is actually 18 inches. Well, not, yeah, 18 inches. And then, of course, if you want it longer, you could use the extender chain to make it longer. But there's our little pendant and our necklace. Isn't that pretty? This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.